Hey everybody, this is Alzrath, and welcome back to Diablo 2. Today we're here for another bonus episode. This one is identifying those high uniques I mentioned last week. These are basically all the high, interesting, most of them are actually highly variable, or they actually have 2 items in them. Uniques that I found while farming for those rainbow facets. This is not every unique I found. Obviously that would be so many freaking mules because it's hundreds of items. Well, actually, technically thousands, but that's beside the point. But we have found a lot of items that are worth identifying. I'm starting off with some of the lower end stuff. These are highly variable items. Some of you may already know what these are. I will try to remember to include timestamps to each kind of major overhead item, like which group of item I'm identifying in that, so you can skip around and see what kind of variances there are. So in this one, you see an ethereal one there. That's because that's the only one of that armor that I found, and I know that it's ethereal means that it can't be what I want it to be. So we're going to identify that first. Yeah. It was sacred armor. This is not bad, but it's ethereal, so it's kind of worthless to me. Could put it on a mercenary, I think, but even still, there's way better options. So I just decided to throw that in there as just poor me kind of situation. I've yet to find another unique sacred armor despite everything else I'm going to show you today. So we're starting off with Ormus's robes. We're going to go ahead and identify one right here and talk about what it is. What it is it's got 20% faster cast rate on it. That's kind of a given, but it has 3 variables that increase the elemental damage. They vary. So this one's really crappy cold, mediocre fire, and it comes with Thunderstorm. Now, Ormus's robes comes with a random sorceress spell on each one. You can see varying defense and regenerate mana as well. You can see this one got higher fire skill. This one got better skill damage all the way across the board, and it's +3 lightning. That would actually be really good for a lightning sorceress, which it's not bad. So we're going to go ahead and keep looking at these. Another one, this one's really terrible on cold and lightning, but it's got fire skill and fire wall going for it, which is a plus. So that's definitely a good addition there. So if you were going for a firewall sorceress, this would be really good for them. Now, there are certain skills that Ormus's robes cannot get. They can't get, I don't think they can get masteries, if memory serves. That's actually a really good one right there. 3 blizzard and 15 cold skill damage. That would be really good if you actually had some magic find on it. But that's what a blizzard sorceress would be using. But yeah, not bad. You can actually get some decent stuff. It would be better. I still think Ormus's robes would be actually really useful if it had +1 skills or +2 skills to kind of go with this. But unfortunately, it does not. We can just have our wish list for if I ever get around to actually doing a mod. So yeah, not amazing, not terrible. 20% faster cast rate. Another 3 lightning one. Is this one? This one's worse than the other lightning one, isn't it? Nope, it's better. It's better than the other lightning one. So, yay, that's a slight improvement. I found a few more Ormuses than I'm showing here. This is just a random sampling of the unidentified ones. I did actually get some that I identified while I was running, just because I didn't think, oh, I want to save these until a little bit later. And you'll see that also with Troll's Nests, because I found 10 of them, if I remember correctly, but I identified most of them so I could throw them into my magic finders offhand. Basically, I keep my back slots, whenever you weapon swap, I actually keep the back slots empty so I can, throw extra items in there in case I start getting full on a run. But that one's not bad either. Nova and Lightning Skill. That would be good for a Nova Sorceress at least. But you can get close to that with +2 skill armor. It's just 1 skill difference. So, yeah. There's ID1. ID2 is going to be, I actually forgot what I put on all of these. We have the Ettin Axes. Okay, these are going to be Rune Axes, and Spired Helms are going to be, the Spired Helms are split between 2 things. Whereas these, I'm looking for 5 socket. Here, we'll identify one of the ethereal ones first. That's kind of garbage. But we're looking for 5 socket on them because they can actually be made into some interesting things with the proper items socketed into them to make them extremely powerful. But generally speaking, there's the 5 socket one. We don't really care about the ethereal ones too much, but we could use them for some certain functions because you can see they get up to a decent amount of damage. 259%. I forget what the max on them is. I think it's 300, but I could be wrong. It could be 260. But this one's 5 socket ethereal, and you can see it's got a decent damage range, up to 355 for a one-handed weapon. You can throw a Zod and several 40-15s in here. You could throw a Zod and some bears in here for crushing blow. Generally, you do need some increased attack speed, so fervor jewels are kind of what you would be looking for in there, or possibly shales. And now we'll get into the non-ethereal ones. That's actually a decent one. That's one that I could use regularly and just have it be just a regular weapon since it can be repaired. I don't have to worry about wasting it on a Zod. I can get shales and stuff into them. There's 2 5s in a row. I think it only goes down to 3. I think it's 3 to 5 sockets. So, yeah. And no, you cannot put rune words in these, unfortunately. If you could, they would be the most overpowered broken thing in the game. But, yeah, we got 3 5s and 263, 263, and 246. So, that's not bad. I can live with that. I think I'd use the 263s out of the bunch, but it's fine. And just throw those into some interesting little slots there. Now these can be 2 different things. So we've got a Nightwing's Veil, which is 2 all skills, 14% cold damage, and increased dexterity, half freeze duration. Honestly, good on a bow source, but can also be used... I'm not a bow source, a Mage Zon. A cold Mage Zon is generally what you're going to see those used for, but it could also be used on a cold sorceress. Although you usually see Shakos on them instead because they can use lighter armors and stuff like that. There's Veil of Steel, also not a bad helmet. It's 50% resist all, which it doesn't have the plus skills, which is the main drawback against it, but still, it's not a bad helmet to just find stumbling around in the wild. These should be fairly easy, even split, but we only have 4 of them because I identified the rest of them like an idiot because I forgot Spired Helms were split. But these should be half and half as far as how many you get because of the drop ratios. And we actually got it. I was expecting it to be 3 and 1 considering my luck, but hey, we now have 2 cold helmets that we can use for other things, and I can actually use those on builds, which I already have one of each of these identified, which I can use on builds, but yay. Now, as far as including the items in a mule, I may just include 1 of each, just because there's not going to be enough room for everything. Here we have those Troll's Nest I mentioned. We have a Hydra Bow. I'm just going to identify it. I found one. Yay. There's no variants there. I just wanted to show it off. Same for another Death's Web. This is my second one. Negative 44% enemy poison resist. Not bad. I think my main one is negative 48, but it's got worse after each kill, if I remember correctly, but I'm not positive on that. I'd actually have to go look at it. It's on a mule right now, so I haven't looked at it in a while. Troll's Nest can have between 1 and 3 sockets, so we'll look at those in a minute. But Scourges are Horizon's Tornado and Stormlash. Both interesting flails. Hopefully one of these is Stormlash. I don't want the ethereal one to be it, because then I'd have to put a Zod in it if I wanted to use it, which makes it not worth using. But they're both going to be relatively fast weapons. The Horizon's Tornado is the most common, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're all Horizon's Tornado. Sorry for coughing, Mike. Oh, lordy. It fought me there. But these have a variable enhanced damage. Other than that, not much of a change on them. We're not looking too good. We're not looking too good. That's Stormlash is the uncommon one. You get 1 out of every certain number of the Scourges is going to be a Stormlash. You can see why it's actually better. This one has slow target and some okay damage. It's not terrible, but is not great. It has Tornado on striking, though, which can make it interesting for druids. This one has Tornado on striking as well, and if I remember correctly, yeah, it's higher level. So this has Tornado on striking, it has Static Field on striking, has increased attack speed a little bit slower than Horizon's Tornado, but still not bad. It's got enhanced damage just like the other one. It adds lightning damage, adds Crushing Blow. Crushing Blow being the reason why it's so freaking powerful as far as like options go. So if you can get a non-ethereal one, that's beautiful. So we're hoping. Nope. Oh, Lord. Our luck here is kind of garbage. Our only Stormlash is ethereal. Maybe I'll find a non-ethereal one eventually to throw on, just like the armor earlier. But 3 Troll's Nests. I've gotten a few ethereal ones, identified a bunch of them. Got a lot of 1-socket ones that I just threw back on the ground. These are not amazing shields in and of themselves. This one's a 2-socket one. You can see it doesn't have a lot going on with it, but since it can get up to 3 sockets, and it's got decent defense, you can actually use it. Hey, that's actually a really good one. But its fire resist is kind of garbage, but that's fine. This one's 3-socket, and it's got decent defense on it, so if you're going for like a Defiance build, you can actually do some fun things with that. And since it's 3-socket, you can also put 3 jewels in it. So you could do 3 rainbow facets. Now, there are better options for rainbow facets if you're going for like just mass rainbow facets on a character. There's Jeweler's Shields, which are 4-socket, like Jeweler's Monarchs can be 4 sockets, which can make them a lot more valuable for that, for like Lightning Fury Amazons. And this one's just straight better than that one. So we did pretty good. No 1-sockets on the identification here, which is oddly lucky for me, because most of the ones that I identified while doing runs were 1-socket. So yay, I guess I got my bad luck out of the way. ID 4 is going to be our lightsabers. Yay. I guarantee you, my luck, these are all going to be lightsabers and we're just going to be boned. And the Mighty Scepters are a 1-1 split as well, just like the helmets. I forget what they can be between, but if one of them isn't there in these, I'll go ahead and just include it up there on the left over here, just so you guys can see what it is. But first we'll start with these. So we've got the Redeemer, which is +2 paladin skills, 272% enhanced damage. I always forget Mighty Scepters are actually, whatchamacallit, split. It seems like the Caduceus should be the one that's split, but no, it's these. The Redeemer Mighty Scepter. And is this going to be another Redeemer? No, we actually got both of them. Okay. So Heaven's Light is, it's kind of a toss-up as to which one's better. It really depends on what you're going for. The Redeemer has the advantage that Grief has, in that it has that extra kind of flat damage add. It's one of the few items that has that. Grief is one of them. This is another, and if I remember correctly, there's some boots. But I could be just remembering wrong. There is another item with extra damage added to it in that format, which is it's almost like elemental damage added, except it's physical, if that makes sense. It doesn't get boosted. So yeah, 272% enhanced damage, not great, not terrible. Redemption and Holy Bolt on it, +2 skills, and -33% target defense means that you're going to get some decent hits. You just need some increased attack speed to make it actually useful. It has okay durability. You tend to burn through them relatively quick. And then this other one is Heaven's Light. This is Crushing Blow, which in and of itself makes it better, in my opinion, for what I use these kind of things for. But to each their own. It has 2 open sockets by, I don't think that's variable. I think it is just always 2 sockets. I could be wrong though. I don't get them a lot. But 2 paladin skills, 20% increased attack speed, decent enhanced damage, and Crushing Blow makes that a very lovely piece of kit compared to this, because they both give you that +2 skills. This one just has really low requirements compared to this. If you didn't notice, it has -60%, which you couldn't even reach with 2 Hell Runes on this, if I remember correctly. But out of these 2, I would use the Heaven's Light. So anyway, let's go ahead and identify our lightsabers, because it's probably going to be all lightsabers, knowing my luck. Lightsaber is not a bad weapon. Chain Lightning on attack, 5% chance, 20% increased attack speed, a little bit of extra damage, ignore target events. It's not a bad weapon. You can use them for a lot of things. But as you can see, it's just a phase blade that's decent. You can make better rune words, but these are just not bad to have around. And it looks like my... Oh, hey, I was about to say, it looks like my forecast is correct, but no, we got the Azurath. Fun thing about Azurath, it actually used to be a crystal sword way back in the day. So if you ever see an ethereal Azurath on Battle.net or something like that, it's not fake. It's an upgraded Azurath from 1.08, I believe. So yeah, and if I remember correctly, it actually spawned in Classic too. I could be wrong on that one, but I think it did spawn in Classic. And it's a decent weapon. It's got extra magic and cold damage. It's got enhanced damage on it. It's about the same damage as the lightsaber, a little bit lower on the top, a little higher on the bottom. Sanctuary Aura, +1 all skills. Doesn't care what you are, it's going to give you +1 skills. Has a little bit more increased attack speed, and it gives you +10 all attributes. It's a really good weapon. Just a steady thing to actually equip on there. That boosts my hopes a little bit. Maybe we'll get a second one? Question mark. Highly doubt it. Because lightsabers are extremely, extremely common for phase blades compared to Azuraths. So yeah, if you find a unique phase blade, chances are it's lightsaber. Don't get your hopes up. I think it's something like 6-to-1 odds. So yeah, we are lucky we got one. And if you're wondering where I found all these, yes, it was because I was farming the freaking hell out of places to try and get those jewels. I just got tired of waiting for what I was hoping for, which was 50. And now, mentioning the Caduceus, this is our last mule of these items. I did find other items. If you want to see me hoard something else and identify it, mention it down below and I'll see what I can do. Generally speaking, I don't identify stuff unless I'm trying to find something in particular. So, yay. But here we have 3 Thunder Mauls. Chances are we're not going to get the one we want. Caduceus is just a... if it was not ethereal, it'd be good situation, just like that armor. Combat skills, increase attack speed, damage. Oh, that one has damage plus 50 as well. Cool. So, yeah, bonus to attack rating. I forgot about that one. Chance of crushing blow. It's a good weapon, but we can't use it because it's ethereal. It's going to break on us, and we're not going to be able to use it ever again. But, hey, nice damage on it. So, legendary mallets. We've got Stone Crusher and Schaefer's Hammer. Stone Crusher's not bad. 40% crushing blow, enhanced damage, minus target defense, and I always forget that it has that. It has damage plus 10 as well. I'm used to the big ones having those. This is just a small one. Grief has like plus 400. This does not make a difference. So, okay, now in case you're wondering, legendary mallets have like the same chance as phase blades to be Stone Crusher versus Schaefer's Hammer. Schaefer's Hammer being the uncommon one, Stone Crusher being the super common one you're going to find a million times and cuss at. So that's good. This is Static Field on Striking. It's basically got Fools on it as far as the maximum damage and attack rating. Enhanced damage on that one's pretty crap. Static Field on Striking, increased attack speed, some lightning resist. It's a good hammer. So if you're looking for a good legendary mallet, Schaefer's Hammer is where you want to be looking. It's indestructible as well, if you guys were wondering. So if you ever find an ethereal one, like an ethereal legendary mallet, it's not going to be Schaefer's Hammer. So do keep that in mind, and being indestructible does make it a lot more useful since you don't have to pay for repairs. So any one of these could be another Schaefer's. I highly doubt it, though. Knowing my luck. Okay, we got 2 Schaefer's Hammers. That is extremely uncommon. Generally speaking, none of these would be. I'm pessimistic on that. Did we get better? Yeah, we got better enhanced damage on this one. So that's good. That's pretty much the only real difference between them. So level 10 Static Field is not something to laugh at, because if you're meleeing something with Schaefer's Hammer, you're going to want Static Field on it as well. Great boss killer. Could use with Zeal, could use with, I'm trying to remember what's called, Vengeance. Although it's not super high damage for Vengeance. That's more what we'd be using the Eden axes for, that are up in like several hundred damage, as opposed to 133. So that's not bad. Last thing we have are the 3 Thunder Mauls. I forget the names of them. Cranium Basher, Indestructible. I think this is the common one. I could be wrong. No, it's Earth Shifter that's common. Yeah, just look for the one that's crappier. I think it's Earth... I can't remember which one's the more common one. One of them's more common, one of them's less common. But this one has amplified damage, 20% increased attack speed, enhanced damage, and 75% chance crushing blow. Indestructible makes it kind of nice. You cannot get it ethereal, unfortunately. So if it's ethereal, it's going to be Earth Shifter. Leads me to believe Cranium Basher is supposed to be the less common one, but we got 2 of them. 75% crushing blow is amazing. This can actually work decent on druids. It used to be kind of popular to use on druids, believe it or not. I don't know if it still is, because the amplified damage plus crushing blow plus increased attack speed plus enhanced damage makes it kind of nice. Plus it gives you resists, which is good as well. The Earth Shifter, not as useful. If it wasn't for the high strength requirement on it, it would be more useful for elemental druids with its plus 7. But unfortunately, you can get almost that with a weapon and a shield. If I remember correctly, you can get 5 or 6 with a weapon and a shield. I forget what Heart of the Oak has on it. I think it's plus 3. But again, I'm kind of foggy today, so I can't remember for sure. Someone's going to correct me in the comments below. Feel free to enjoy that little bit of satisfaction there. This is going to have a little bit higher damage, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is going to have a little bit higher damage in general, but it doesn't have enough increased attack speed. This is 20%, this is 10%. 7 elemental skills is not going to help you with a shifting druid unless you're using Armageddon, in which case you're investing a lot in elemental skills and then Fireclaw, probably, which is kind of meh. So, yeah. Earth Shifter, unimpressive. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's there. It's plus 7 elemental skills, if you actually want to mess around with that. But I think that's all I'm going to identify for today. If you have particular things you want me to identify, feel free to comment. I will try to save up some of them. There are items that I still haven't found, like Maja, whatever her name is, Bong, and the Metal Grid, oddly enough, is still evading me. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time on Diablo 2, whenever we identify something else weird, well, next week, or whenever we see another build on Friday.